Hey guys, so often you'll hear me talk a lot about gut health. What does that mean? I'm going to explain it. And why do I talk about it? If I'm kind of the girl that talks about how I am in remission or reverse the symptoms of my autoimmune condition, what does that have to do with gut health and what does gut health mean? Let's dive into that. Okay, first of all, this is sort of gut health 101. Your gut means anything that has to do with sort of your gastrointestinal situation, right? So even your mouth, your digestion, your enzymes, your esophagus, and you got your stomach, then you got your other organs like your liver and your gallbladder and your other things that sort of help you absorb the nutrients, including your colon, your small intestine, your large intestine, elimination stuff, all that stuff. That's sort of the gut health is sort of the umbrella term. And what people mean by that is also another term that people talk about, which is like gut microbiome. A microbiome just means that you've got this sort of city of microbes living in your gut intestinal sort of area, right? I'm going to make it really simple and as less sciencey as possible. So that microbiome city needs to be in homeostasis. It needs to be in balance. So you don't want to have an overgrowth, right, of bad bugs, let's call it that, bad bugs. You want to have a proliferate. Now, some are inherently, like when I do, GI testing, we test people's poop, yeah. When we do that and we get the results back, there is always a certain amount of E. coli in there, and everybody has a little bit of the bad bugs. Let's just call them that. But you want to have a proliferation of those good bugs. And what those good bugs do is they basically are helping you not only digest your food with the enzymes and all that stuff in there too, but also we need to feed the good bugs. They help our bodies do literally a gazillion different things in the body. So your GI is not isolated from the hormone balance, brain fog, energy, anything that your immune system, certainly. So 70%, we'll use that conservative number, 70% of your immune system is housed in your gut, right? In your gut microbiome. So if you're someone who's getting sick a lot frequently, like once a month, and your cold or the flu kind of lingers longer than everybody else, you definitely want to take a look at fixing that gut microbiome or that homeostasis or that balance or the health of your gut. There's lots of ways that we say this. I'm going to go through just a couple things. So your gut why does that need to be healthy? First of all, that is your first line of defense. So that's your immune system's first line of defense. That means those are the guys that encounter the outside world. And there's lots of stuff going on in the outside world. There's bacteria, there's viruses, there's chemicals that we get exposed to in various ways, whether it be pollutants or anything else. So that is your first line of defense in terms of like ingesting something, and you want to be able to clear that easily. And if you've got a proliferation of bad bugs, it's not so easy to clear that. So that's number one, is your gut is your first line of defense for your immune system. So that's the number one reason why you want to keep that healthy and give your gut whole, real food and less of the junky sugar. Certainly feeds those bad bugs, those refined sugar. We're not going to get deep diving into that right now, but you can imagine highly processed, highly palatable foods are going to feed the bad bugs. So when you have a proliferation of that, you may have heard of words like candida or yeast, an overgrowth of yeast. Those can be really bad for your digestion. Okay, let's get to digestion. So it's another function of your GI, of your gut, is digestion. Not only breaking down your food, but allowing the food to be broken down in such a way that you're absorbing the actual nutrients. So the kale, the spinach, all those yummy, good blueberries, phytonutrients, fruits and vegetables that you are consuming, if you're still having GI stress, it might be a sign, or you're still feeling weak, or you've got sometimes people come to me and they have a B12 deficiency or a magnesium deficiency or some other vitamin deficiency, but they're like, oh my God, I'm such a carnivore, but why do I have no B12? It could be there's a dysfunction or a dysbiosis or an imbalance in your gut microbiome, which is causing you not to absorb those minerals and nutrients, right? So the other thing is that latest research shows that there is a two-way street. It's called the gut-brain axis. And that means that there is a two-way highway in between communication between your brain and your gut. So if your gut is out of balance and you're feeling things like migraines, frequent headaches, brain fog, fatigue, those kind of things could be down to an unhealthy or imbalanced gut microbiome. Another thing is related to the immune system is inflammation control. So let's circle back to that immune system. So an autoimmune condition, which is why I frequently will talk about gut health with my clients or anybody who I'm talking to in Instagram world or YouTube world about the health of your gut. And that's where we start when we start healing, is because what I said before, which is 70% of your immune system is housed in your gut. So when your gut is busy working on food intolerances or, an overconsumption of sugar, your immune system kind of shuts down, or your immune system goes into overactivity, and it will start, and that's what happens with an autoimmune condition. It will start to overreact and cause inflammation, joint pain, headaches. You may get inflammation in your nasal cavities. I know that was one of the symptoms that I had, which was constant nasal stuff. It didn't matter. As soon as the wind started blowing, I was in a state of inflammation in my nasal cavity. That is gone now. I have been able to reverse that through changing what I'm eating and fixing my gut microbiome, because when I get a cold or something, now my body can, my defense mechanism, your immune system, can just go into working on that, and it's not busy trying to put out fires all over my body, which is kind of what happens when you have an autoimmune condition and there's so many now. And there is hope. We can reverse the symptoms of autoimmune. I want to put a caveat in there. I'm not a doctor. I always say this at various times in my videos. I will tell you, I am not a doctor. Disclaimer. I am not giving medical advice. This YouTube channel is for informational purposes only. If you like what you're hearing so far, you can click the link to subscribe or click the button to subscribe, whatever that may be, and just I talk a lot about autoimmune, gut health, intermittent fasting, one of my favorites. Okay, so metabolism and weight management. Your gut bacteria, healthy gut bacteria, is instrumental in impacting how your metabolism is running. Let me repeat that. The health of your gut microbiome, those good and bad bacteria, can immensely impact your ability to lose weight. It has an effect on your metabolism because it is producing some of the neurotransmitters that help you with satiety, help you feeling full. You may have heard of something recently called Ozempic. That is a semaglutide. That is a GLP-1, whatever you want to call it, Mounjaro, all these different names. Those things, those medications are impacting it's sort of bypassing, if you had an unhealthy gut, and one of the reasons was, you're not producing enough GLP-1, our bodies produce GLP-1. All Ozempic is doing is giving you the GLP-1 that it is not working or not producing, your gut is not producing that. So starting with healing your gut, even if you're on Ozempic or a GLP-1, you want to fix that gut, because once you go off of that medication or the GLP-1, you're going to be back to an inability to lose weight, because a healthy gut microbiome is instrumental in allowing you to maintain a healthy weight. So that's a really important part of your gut microbiome. The other thing that a healthy gut can do is reduce the risk of chronic disease. How does it do that? Heart disease, all these chronic diseases. So these are like the non-communicable diseases. So a healthy gut can help you avoid or be less likely, especially if it's in your histories. I say this all the time, your genetics are not your destiny. So a healthy lifestyle, starting with a healthy gut, can help you, I don't want to say avoid some of these non-communicable chronic diseases, but they will make you sort of less likely for those to, develop, let's just say. And I'm not obviously making any medical claims or promises. You can Google it, look it up. healthy gut microbiome definitely will help you improve things like type 2 diabetes, which is a chronic disease. Even if it's in your history, it's not your destiny. I really want to leave everybody with that message. So those are some reasons why you want to make sure. That's where I always start, is healing that gut. And in other videos, I talk about foods to include, but they're the obvious ones, like eating a diet that is a proper human diet, which, includes whole real foods. And I credit that term proper human diet with Dr. Ken Berry. So Dr. Ken Berry coined the phrase proper human diet. So with a proper human diet, it is more likely that you will heal your gut. So go look up Dr. Ken Berry. I love him. And yeah. Okay. Bye, guys.